if we're
Okay.
all right. And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 6 of Energy Transformation Week. My name is Tara Taglienti, and I have an amazing guest for day 6. Oh my goodness. Like, her energy is just off the charts. I mean, I've known her for several years now,
Yeah.
and I mean, I guys, when I introduce you to her at the end of this, you guys want to follow her online. You will be inspired daily by the things that come through. I'd like to introduce to everyone Curtrice Goddard. She is the founder of Expansion, and I'm highlighting the shen at the end of that, and you'll see why. It's Expansion Lifestyle Co., a wellness and leadership community for women. And I would like to, Curtrice, will you just say hello, introduce yourself, and tell
Yes.
everybody like who you are and what is, in your words, what's your jam in the world?
I love it. Absolutely. Hi, everyone. Yes, I am Patrice. Thank you for that enthusiastic welcome. It just feels so good to be met and seen and just like create here with you. So I'm really excited. I am the founder of Expansion Lifestyle Company, and it's moving into a tech space, the actual business. It was founded based on kind of what we're talking about today, based on my own transformation. So expansion is EXPANSHEN, because Shen in Chinese medicine means consciousness and God.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I know, right? And so Shen to me, as a businesswoman, bringing in consciousness is a big part of how I create and what I want to bring to the world. And so my platform bridges consciousness, wellness, and the business world for women. The
So,
whole like the purpose is for us to go inward to create that inner empire in order to create these outer empires. So that's my focus, my jam.
yeah, I mean, and look, I know I'm gonna like not talk as much because I just get that you have a massive, amazing contribution. So, like, yeah, it's like, what's your transformation story? I mean, let's just get right into it. And basically, like, what I'm wondering is like, you also work with a lot of energy, and you're very, a lot of the stuff that you're putting out on social media bridges business with energy. And I'm really
Yes,
curious to know,
yes.
how did it all get started? Like, what was it like for you growing up? And like,
Interesting.
did you always know you were going to be doing, energy and
Heck
being on like
no.
on the
Right.
woo woo side of life? Like what's that whole thing?
Yeah, I am like so honored and excited to have this conversation because my story and my journey has been coming up a lot for in different conversations and settings. And I'm like, whoa. And I've been getting feedback on how other people see my life that's been in my life for a long time. And so I just really been sitting with that too. So it's exciting because like I grew up in Detroit, like the west side of Detroit, so super industrial. I grew up in what you call the hood, and it was just normal life, right?
Yeah.
I did know, though, when I was younger, of course, like most of us, we kind of knew like something's off with this whole go to work every day, die,
Yeah.
create debt, and go to college. And it was just like, what else is possible out there? I was just always wanting to get out or
Yeah.
whatever. But I was living pretty unconscious for many years, basically, eating whatever, doing whatever, like just no really conscious thought to what I was doing. And I remember, I think 2006 is when my awakening started happening in life. And I think, The Secret came on the scene. So it was like,
Yeah.
your thoughts create your life. I was like, what? And that was so empowering for me because I've always had that strength. I want to be in control of, on some level, on how my life unfolds, right?
Yeah.
So that became my jam. And then healing my body. I had some reproductive issues that came up, and I was noticing that I could shift things energetically and with food. And so I just started reading and immersing myself in these workshops. And my journey started to unfold, and I noticed that yeah, I just stopped doing what people thought was normal, I guess, and what was expected of me, and followed my heart, you know? And yeah, now mindset is a big part. Like right now in our country, they're talking a lot about, you know, we have a new president and we have like a lot of things with race and economy coming up. And I'm like, you know, when your mindset is intact and you can tap into this energetic component, you know, what I call like the Christ consciousness component, you don't have to really worry about the validation of this world, right? And that's really where my jam is. I'm like, okay, are we talking, like I seen someone hashtag white privilege and why this is holding people down. I'm like, what about Christ consciousness privilege? How about you get to trump and out create whatever you want? Like, you know, and so that's what I bring to the platform. That's how I live my life. So it has transformed my life. I just feel like there's any possibility for me to create whatever. And that's what I want to share with the world. So
that's powerful. That is some powerful stuff right there, because it just sounds like it's like completely out of the conversation that's on the mainstream. And then it's like you get to create, when you stop listening to all of that, it's like you get to create whatever. And and it doesn't really matter what's going on over there, because you're
there, outside of you.
Listen, gosh, anywhere you want to take this conversation, I am down, open, and I get that, like, I am excited to contribute to whoever would be watching this in the future. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I think, right now what's buzzing in my world is mindset, right? It's like, I think it really, I don't know if that's even the proper word, because it's actually so powerful how you perceive things, right? You know, if you're seeing the contribution in things and seeing possibility and how your life starts to mold around that, it just changes my world. Yesterday, I posted about the gift of perspective shift, because sometimes you can feel constricted. It's like you can feel all constricted, and then as soon as you change the way you see things, nothing outside of you has moved. Your energy starts to expand. You know, your creativity opens up. People show up. Solutions come into your, you know, your view, and you can see these things. And I don't know if everybody is really aware that their perspective is either like locking them up or expanding their lives. And that's where the true work is, and how your lens that you're looking through. And so that's just really, I've been jamming with that a lot in my life. Like, you know, even with access consciousness, using some of the questions, like, you know, what's good here that I'm not seeing, like, for real, like, you know, like really tapping, like, because, you know, based on the beliefs, and this is something I really want to share too, that based on, you know, I feel like all these bodies of work that we're in, they teach us these tools. And then there's something beyond the tools. There's just a basic innate knowing that wellness is our birthright. Like, once you don't have to try and be positive or try to be in possibilities. Like, think about it. Like, we were born here. For goodness, like nothing else really makes sense. You know, why else would we be here if it wasn't for our winning? And I have just owned that truth. And even when things are looking crazy and feeling challenging, I go back to that truth, that winning is my birthright. Like the sun came up for me today. It came up for you. It came up for all of us. And we didn't have to make sure that happened, right? So there's something bigger than us that's making sure that we win and that we live. And so tapping into that goes beyond positivity, goes beyond, you know, tricks and tools and all these things. Like, really think about being here and how it's all set up for us to thrive, you know? That carries me. Powerful.
What would you say was like the first thing that kind of like popped for you? Like what was the first, I want to say like maybe like the first course that you took, or the first,
like when it expanded my mind, kind of like,
to be like, this is it, like we're going this way now. Like it's kind of like the same question, I just asked it a little differently.
no, it's good, because I love to think about when that I think when I got the whole thoughts or themes thing, of course it was really superficial. But I made some different choices with like conversations I was having at work. I worked in a cubicle, and, you know, I had a 9 to 5 in the city. And I just start disengaging with certain things and talking more about what I want, talking more about my dreams. And it was okay to dream, you know, coming from a city where you're just expected to have a job for 20 years. And I was like, I feel like I want to speak on stages or something like that. And starting to feel like maybe I could talk about these things, even if I don't know how I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
I would say back in 2007 is kind of like that awakening started happening for me. And I started putting things out there and seeing that things were coming to me with more ease than me trying to make it happen. You know, like somebody would call and be like, hey, do you want to go to this concert? I'm like, I was just thinking about that concert. So
awesome.
Yeah, so I think that's when it started getting really fun for me. And just looking at, like, I remember paying my bills, you know, before it was just always check to check and, you know, just a very lack mindset and socially acceptable, by the way. You know, like everybody's, you know, talking like this and not having enough. And then I remember moving into this space of like, thinking to myself, it's a contribution to pay my bills. Like, I want to pay my phone bill. I want to pay for gas and lights. Like, that's an honor. That I love these amenities in my home. And like, I started changing my energy on that. And it stopped feeling like something that was taking from me. And I was actually giving to myself. And that was a game changer too.
Yeah. And you teach classes on all of this stuff. Like, you teach abundance mindset, you teach, or facilitate about eating healthy and stuff like that. Like, it's all of the things that you're talking about. You now you teach others how to change their mindset, how to live healthy. You know, here's the thing. It's like, this is kind of like what I've asked everybody on the panel. It's like, you received all of this information, right? And it's like, you could have created anything with that. But what is it that has you want to inspire and change other people, you know, help other people change their lives? And like, what's that for you? Like, what has you want to really be there for people?
Oh, I love that. First of all, the first thing that came to my mind was because it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's fun to share and engage and to like get into that energy with people. And I would honestly say that humanity is my jam. Like, I like people. It's generative for me. I notice, like, if I'm feeling like, if I'm not having such a great day and just going to like the store, you know, Whole Foods, like meeting people, I expand. So I found out that that's a generative space. So contributing to people and wanting to share information that's changed my life just lights me up. It feels like that's the highest path for me. And so that really makes me happy. It does. Like, humanity, I always say humanity is my jam. Like, people light me up, people's stories and who they are, and, you know, like their journeys, just, it really inspires me. You know, even some of the more difficult things, I just see all the beauty and the courage within human beings. And it just, that's my jam. So that's why I want to create, connect and create community.
Yeah, and which you are creating that as your business. I'm like, will you talk about expansion and like, I'm gonna always say that. Do you know that I mean, it's so clever, the now knowing the Chinese, what that part of it means, just kind of like blew me away, because I actually had it, like, that's really clever. But now it's like a whole other, I mean, there's so many layers to this.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's like layers and there's here. Yeah. So because expansion started just doing workshops where we would bring in like a business speaker, mindset, which would be me, and then some type of energy work too. So like, you would be like a facilitator that could come in, and the whole premise again is bridging business with energy, like giving people leverage. I consider it leverage. Being in the business world, I worked with a tech company for a few years too, and just seeing how that inner work is what really helped you create in this world. Like, it's being about the energy and the mind and the wellness is what really generates a lot of energy for you to show up, you know, for your mission and your dreams and your vision. And so, that's how we started, just doing workshops, bringing in those three aspects: consciousness, mindset, and energy. I feel like that's the new wave too. And I look out into the world, like, it's kind of trendy now that everybody's like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur and let me get the inner landscape together too.
You know, I'm grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful that people are interested, you know, wherever they are, right? on their path. You know, sometimes what I've noticed is that like there are those people who all of a sudden they've become this like coach, and and they're showing just like their best sides out there, you know?
Yes,
You know
yes.
what I noticed about you though? Okay, everybody, I think I said it before, you got to follow Curtrice on Facebook and on her Instagram, because she is what is flowing through you is some of the most inspiring stuff throughout the day. It's like
Thanks, Sarah.
whenever I see your stuff come up, it's always like, yes, I need this. And I'm like, boom, love. Giving the love back. But I'm serious, like what, you're so real, like you're so like authentic to, you know, and it's like what's your take on that, like getting real, because if something's not really going too well, you actually speak on that very honestly, and then, you know, in a few days, all of a sudden you see, boom, here's why it happened. You know, like,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like even currently, right now, things in my life, there's like things falling out of my life, and there's new things coming in, and like new versions of myself that need to show up. Like it's a constant, you know, alchemy, just things coming in and out. Definitely. And I feel like there is a lot of conversation about the authenticity piece in our like industry, I guess, and how people are saying like you can't be too positive. This is what like comes up for me, and I've been looking at that, like what's spiritual bypassing, what's just okay, don't look at that, let's just look over here at the good. But what I've been finding out like throughout all of this is that like dark energy or constricted times or challenges, they don't have to really be a big deal. It is just a part of life. Like,
yeah,
I don't have to make that a thing to stare at either. Like, you know, like me right now, if something happens I don't like, I'm uncomfortable, I'll have a tantrum. I have no problem with that. So like, I allow myself to joy. I allow myself to be like, I don't like it. I don't like it. You know, and then I like go through that.
And that's totally okay, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
giving ourselves the freedom to do that, and then moving through it. And one thing I had to honor for myself through a lot of conversations around this is that we do have access to a certain level of consciousness, right? So even when we're going through those changes and we're in fear and we don't understand it, there's always an aspect of myself and the aspect of everyone that they can tap into to know that all is well. I think right now my message is more going into that deep, all is well here and now, that you know you were born into wellness. Never forget, never let these illusions and these challenges get you so twisted to think that you're not going to make it. Somebody's coming, something's going to show up. Like that is your birthright. Like, you know, you are loved. Somebody is looking at you from the ethers all day trying to give you and take care of you. You know, you can count on that. I believe that.
yeah.
And so that, yeah. Oh, I got chills just saying it.
I know, and it makes you like it's kind of my eyes are a little bit welling up. I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not going to cry here. Like,
yeah,
I sense your energy in it. Like I said, there's a lot coming on. You know, I saw a post one time. It was a while back, but I saw a post that said you were like, someone just kind of compared or said I was like Oprah, you know, and like kind of compared you to Oprah, or said that you were like an Oprah, you know. I see that, and like you're like your own thing. You know what I mean? Like I definitely
I receive that.
Yeah, like there's you're on a path that I'm blessed to be like here kind of cheering you on, you know.
Oh, wow, Tara.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, Oprah came up yesterday with somebody. I'm listening right now.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I never even feel triggered to say I'm my own thing. Like that is a great compliment.
I mean, however it can come out. I've got a lot of energy running through me right now. So
no, I just hear a lot of people say, I don't want you to say, I'm just saying this to you. But I do feel like years ago, I remember, and this is something I think that would be a contribution to people, when I was living in Detroit, and I had all these visions and these dreams for my life, and you know, it felt lonely. I didn't feel like people
Yeah.
were thinking about, or sometimes I would say these things that felt lofty and everybody would just kind of look like, you're kind of crazy. Oh, that's cute,
Yeah.
And for a long time, I felt like just in my apartment that it was just me, Oprah, Jay-Z, and Christ consciousness. That was like my board of directors.
Yup. Oh.
Then I would dream it up, and I would start making moves, and I was building my business, but I didn't have like a lot of people that was really thinking like I was thinking for myself. So you kind of feel crazy in the moments when you're like, maybe I shouldn't be wanting so much, but you can't help when that vision comes through for you. And so she was
Yeah.
definitely a mentor in spirit, although she's here, that really kept me moving, in that direction. So
That's really cool. Like that was another question I was going to ask is like, how did you deal? It was like, how did you deal with like the naysayers? Because it is like when you speak your dreams to other people, it can either you're around the people that say, yes, I see that for you. And it's
yes,
happening.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's those that are just like, huh? And like, they're like, this, you're kind of crazy,
Yes.
But I think you just answered that question. But if you could say, like, what if someone was kind of in that position? Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself, but what would you tell somebody that like was around a lot of naysayers? Like, what would you say to them?
Complete opportunity, right? It's such an opportunity. It's a complete opportunity to strengthen your resolve, to just know how badass you really are, to really connect in to the source within you. It's always like all this no, no, no. It's like, okay, I have to know this for myself. Thank you for that invitation for me to know me, right? Because when I look back, that's what it was, the fortitude. It helped me get to know who I was. And sometimes I would falter and then be like, dang it, like I gave up my dream and my vision, or I became smaller to keep the balance in these connections or relationships, and it's never worth it because that mission has to happen. I can't sleep in night unless I'm creating me, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's an invitation for that resolve and spiritual fortitude, right? When we get to know the negatives, like, and it's prevalent, and I've been there. I've like hidden myself because I'm like, oh, I said too much,
Oh.
right?
I've been there. I've been in those situations where I'm just like, did I just like say too much on the weird, like the woo woo side, and and then everybody stops talking, they all get all quiet, and I'm like, oh, I went somewhere too far.
Did you see that post I did about the woo woo being powerful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've been trying to trick us all these years, making us think we're weird when really all this time we had the keys, and now they're trying to just bring that into our message. And
do you see yourself as kind of like a messenger now that I'm like kind of like now that I'm like looking at it, I'm just like, because you've been like putting out some mess. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you put out there on social media is kind of like something, to me, it's like I get that you do have some sort of like messages flowing through you. Like, what do you think there? Like, what do you, what's
there's a level of channeling and messages that come through, definitely. I just honestly, I think last year started to use that in my bio and in my courses, that these are intuitive sessions or channelings that may occur, and really owning that, because before I'm thinking I'm just riffing, but it's like, oh, okay, I can, sometimes I don't remember what I said because it was it came from that source energy. And so it's just kind of like looking at that. So thanks for present. You are very present, Tara. Thank you.
I notice these things and I'm just kind of like, it's something special. It's a gift and talent. And, hey, I'm really grateful. That I'm grateful to be surrounding myself with all these people and with somebody like you. I'm on, I see your stuff come through every day. So it's just kind of like, I'm grateful we're getting to have this conversation.
I'm grateful for you. Thank you.
So can we shift gear? Oh, wait, one more thing. Okay. What are you holding? Is that a crystal?
Can you see that? This is a selenite one. This is a selenite one.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it just kind of clears energy. I love it. Feel very resonant with it. I've had it for the last 4 days with me. So yes,
That's
selenite.
cool.
Google this. This is like it
Yeah.
clears the chakras, and yes,
That's
love it.
awesome.
Yeah,
Cool. I had to point that out. Just
I didn't even know I've had it. She's been like with me, right near me for the last few days. So
no, that's awesome. So I want to shift gears just a little bit on into because you also speak a lot about wellness and
Mhm.
fueling the body and always eating like high vibrational foods.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
can you speak a little bit about that? I know it's like about eating healthy. What is and high vibration and what is that? Like, what do you know about that?
Mm.
And yeah, okay, we'll go there.
Okay. So I wouldn't even, yeah, it's eating healthy, for lack of better terms, but it's more like moving into that energy of eating what lights you up, like really
Mhm.
turns you on. And where I've been taking my clients, like in with my own life, is like eating foods with integrity. Like for me, a vibrational match to me is food that's been loved on, people that care about my growing, that care about my empire. Like, are you putting things in there to help me think straight? Like, are you trying to disrupt my hormones, or not, or do you not even care? Like, I don't really like to spend my money with companies like that.
Mhm,
So it's
mhm.
kind of like it moves into a conscious spending for me, a level of wealth and prosperity, like where I'm putting my dollars, how I'm contributing to the planet in that way. So it just all becomes like this just really sacred thing for me. And I
Mhm.
like to eat foods that to me are fueling me to show up 100%. Like I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, eat this. And I'm like, okay, for lack of better words, it's crap. And it doesn't help me build the empire. It doesn't help me show up for my clients. It doesn't help me feel my best. So it's just a no. And I don't feel like there's any resistance to it being healthy or not. It's just not adding to the end result.
Mhm.
So since I started doing my wellness programs like that, my clients are more on fire. Like they're like excited. They're like, "Oh no, that doesn't go in my brand." Like,
Yeah.
like that isn't helping me get to where I want to go. Because you can like listen to the body, and you know this. Like you eat
Yeah.
certain things, it may light you up, and if it doesn't, stop choosing it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right? Even birthday party, like make provisions for yourself. Being a leader in our lives is sometimes saying no to things, and choosing other things and asking for things we need so that we feel good all day. It's important for me to be on,
Yeah.
because like I said, people are my jam, and I want to be present and be able to do what I can to contribute. And I can't do that if I'm foggy and high off stuff. I don't know what I'm eating, and my hormones are off balance.
Mhm.
And there's that aspect energetically of like you can transmute the energy of food, but not everybody's there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, because I seen somebody talk about the 4D, like, oh, you can change the energy. I was like, you can, but you got to make sure somebody is playing at that level or in that world before they just start eating a whole bunch of chocolate cake and thinking they're gonna be positive around it. And then, and it's a deeper process. And we all know it's a deeper level of consciousness. But so that's what wellness is. Like even for business, I'm like eat in the morning, eating to grow your business, eating for your message, eating so that you feel on fire, that you feel sexy, that you feel engaged, like eat
Yeah.
foods that light you up. So
And I like how you said the word sacred in there too at one point, like sacred, like sacred with your food, sacred with your money, sacred with your spending. Like that is something that like even in this moment I'm just like, whoa, like what would change in my life if I started creating everything as sacred,
yes,
not
yes,
making it significant, but just something
but
that's like, wow, everything I'm doing, every choice I'm making is creating like my
yes.
future.
And
Why
I
not?
think sacred is like awareness, right? Whenever
Mhm.
we bring awareness to something, we're in a sacred energy. Being,
Yeah,
like access consciousness, it's like being aware of your life. That's a sacred act because most of the
yeah,
time we don't want to look at things. Right,
yeah,
just
yeah.
bringing that awareness, like awareness to where your money is going to, who, like I bought some food the other day and it was owned by women, and I remember the girls on Shark Tank and Mark Cuban
Oh,
on
I love
Shark
Shark
Tank
Tank.
put his money, like all these things I loved was in
Mhm.
it. They're local to California. I mean, I bought like 3 of those things. I felt so like it was just feeding me the energy of it. And I was like, this
Yeah,
is how I want my life. That feels sacred for me to put my money behind things that I actually that represent me and my truths and my values in life. And Yeah, and I feel like
That's so cool.
I'm in the highest path, so it feels good.
Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to mention that we're a little bit beyond a half an hour,
Oh,
and
okay.
if it's and if it's okay, can we go over with
Okay.
for a
Yes.
little
Yes.
bit,
Okay. Okay.
you know,
Yes. I think
I
I have
still I have a few
like.
questions I still want to ask you, and I'm having a lot of fun on here. And I think, I mean, I think we're pretty much on fire right now.
Okay.
um, so so you work a lot with women, and I
Yeah.
know that, but your work can also assist a lot of men too. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and it's primarily women. So I'm curious, like, about how do you take, so all the stuff that we've been talking about, how do you bring that to women? Like, what's the how do you bridge this specifically for women? Obviously, you are a woman, but I want to kind of hear in your
Right.
words, like, what is it that
Right.
you see?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
Okay. Well, I think it's funny because as we move into the tech platform, I
Mhm,
looked at that and I said, well, it'll be built with a focus towards women, but including men as well, if they
mhm,
resonate with the brand, absolutely. But for me, it started because my wellness practice was with women only. And that's
mhm,
because I knew the women's journey. I know the woman's body. Like I posted about a supplement the other day and someone said, well, that's different for men. I don't have that education or I haven't tapped into that. So I
mhm,
didn't feel like I could really hold space. I can only go so far with men, but I am a woman. I am
mhm.
very intuitive with my body. So I know different things. We have cycles and I feel like that feminine energy, it requires different attention, like whether we're
Right.
working during our moon time or, the way our rhythms fluctuate. And so that's not necessarily geared for men. So
Mhm,
that's kind of where it started. So I work with women primarily because I am a woman and I know those cycles.
mhm.
But then there are certain things like consciousness that anybody can rock out to. But if we start to get deeper into it, I literally don't have the I literally I don't know what's going on. I mean, I haven't expanded to that. Maybe I will at some point.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of men stepping up into that role. So I don't know. But the platform itself is
Yeah.
wellness. It is consciousness. It is a conversation about taking women deeper into the business role too. And I think that's a different journey than men. Because I have a
Yeah.
lot of men that support me. They're different in business. They just are.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
now I've got a question there. Like,
Okay.
I know this might be a very deep subject, but could you give a little bit of it, like a snippet of information? I know we'll get to how people can contact you and find out more
Mhm.
information, but could
Mhm.
you give a little bit, like, how do women's cycles and business relate? Like, what's going on there? Like, what's that?
Well, like with your what we call our moon time, or when your cycle is starting, your menstrual cycle is actually coming in. Like you have a week before that that your energy levels start to go lower.
Mm-hmm.
Did you become more inner and more reflective? So you might want to journal more, relax more. But we've been in this society where it's just go, go, go. So like when I
Right,
worked
right.
for a 9 to 5, it didn't matter where I was in that moon time cycle. I just had to get up, grab coffee, hit the
Yeah.
pavement. Now I have the ability to be off the day before, when I actually start, to bleed, I can like rest, and resting after, and being mindful of that for my body. That feels good to be nurtured in
Yeah.
those times instead of
Yeah.
pushing. And sometimes with business projects, a lot of women now are scheduling to do things after that time, right? And
Right.
going in to get insights about their projects during that time, because it's a very reflective and intuitive space for
Mhm.
women when we are, about to start the moon cycle. So yeah, my friend Lauren Sheehan, she does a lot of work with that. I've
Yeah.
taken her for Lauren.
Yes, I
Yeah, so
do. Mhm.
yeah, and so moving into that, I feel like it's a good tool to integrate into business, because sometimes you wonder why you don't feel like doing stuff. You know how
Yeah.
when the cycle comes, it's like your brain is like mush
Yeah.
sometimes, and we're
Totally.
like in this, we're like push, 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 but the body
Uh-huh.
is saying, hey, I need to like receive right now.
Yeah.
And so being aware of that can help you optimize your business results, and that's
It's so
what we're looking into.
Yeah, I mean, who knew that we actually have this internal compass, so to speak,
I know.
on how we can create to the best of our ability.
Yes, and
I
optimize our lives.
Right?
Yeah.
this is a subject that I don't think is out enough in the mainstream. I mean, it's starting to get out there more. Let me ask you this. If there was someone who may have just gotten like wowed for the first time ever hearing that, right?
Mm,
What would you tell them would be like a first action step that they could kind of like to get started with this, with
mm.
like exploring, their cycle and and adding it into their lives?
Yeah, first, I would say look at their ovulation chart to see when the cycle starts, because it's not only when we begin to bleed. Like I think it's happening like a week before, and when you can Google like ovulation charts, and they'll tell you what stages that you're in. And then I would say to actually connect with someone that's an expert on a subject matter, like Lauren Sheehan. That's just who's coming to my mind right now. To actually, I mean, because she gets deep into it. Like the course
Yeah,
that I took from her was mind blowing.
yeah,
Yeah, and I still have the content to that, but I think just finding out, what time, what week you're in, and scheduling your projects around that. So if
yeah,
you're about to come on that week, I wouldn't say create your biggest launch ever, right? Wait till your
yeah,
energy levels are higher when it's time to extrovert. And
yeah.
then when you're about to come on and start bleeding, you should start to retreat, right? You
Cool.
should start to like move slower, drink your teas, and honor that. Like honor
Yeah,
it. I feel so good when my body actually seems like it does more when
yeah,
I give it the what is it, the choice to kind of relax. I end up having more energy actually.
yeah.
So yeah, just
And
the ovulation charts in itself.
cool, cool. And when people are in your programs and stuff, are you speaking this, kind of including all of that too, or is it?
I do some. That's not like saying that's not my
It's not
level of
your
expertise. I just
right.
use it. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
have content like in our newsletter and things of
Okay.
that nature. Yeah. So I talk about different types of cycles, but the actual menstrual
Yeah.
cycle, that's not my study. But I do
Cool.
like give them references, and that's what expansion is all about: bringing
Yeah.
other leaders in their work to our platform so that we can all.
Cool. Oh,
And
cool.
that's so funny you say that, because when I first created expansion, I was like, I can't teach all this. I can't know all this. Oh, okay, I'll create a platform where it's there. So it's EFT practitioners, so that's what the tech part of it will look like. It will be
Oh,
all these different help women
wow.
expand in their lives and business.
So what would you say to somebody, say, that had their own, thing going on and they wanted to actually, how can people get in touch with you?
Yes, yes, okay. And
It's like,
I would love for people to contact me. If you have
yeah.
a business or service, of course, products that you sell, definitely you can email me personally at curtriceg at
Mhm.
gmail.com or expansion.co@gmail.com. And I'm sure you'll put this at the bottom of the
Yes,
video.
I'm going to be putting all your links, and
Okay.
if
And
you have any books, products, or anything like that, just let me know, and I'll put them underneath this
okay.
video as well.
Okay, yeah. And then we're on Instagram at Expansion
Mhm.
as well. And expansion.com is our website. And I have a mindset course, a 6-week course that's running. The first cycle is already closed and sealed, and we'll be opening it again on 222. So
Cool.
if people want to
Oh,
jam there, they can read about it on the site, and I would love it. Yeah. Yeah.
awesome. Well, check this out. I'm going to ask you the last question, and this is something that I ask every guest on Energy Transformation Week since the
Okay.
beginning. So let's just say that younger version of you is what, in Detroit, in the beginning of it all, like that version of you that was kind of making the choice to kind of step forward at the beginning of it all.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to her as the being that you are today to give her encouragement?
Mm. What would I say to her? I would tell her that she is powerful, that she is clear, and that she is love, and that these are her greatest gifts, and she is not crazy, and to keep going, to follow her knowing, and to let her love show, to not be embarrassed by her joy or her love, and her visions and her dreams. And
Oh
she's
man.
not wrong. Yeah. Oh God, that's very emotional.
Well,
Thank
and I know, yeah, thank you so much, Curtrice. Like, I can
you.
see there's so much more that you've got like to contribute, and you
Oh
know,
my
I'm just so grateful that
Thank
you
you.
spent your time here, and thanks for giving me your time. And you know, I just wish you nothing but the best for everything that you've got creating, and I see a huge future.
Mm.
I see a huge future coming through, and I'm just really
Thank
grateful.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm grateful for you. This is beautiful. Thank you.
cool. Will you stay on just a little bit while you know, while I close out, and
Oh,
then stay on
absolutely.
after?
Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
okay.
Thank you. Yes.
You guys, awesome. You guys, tomorrow, I just would like to, hold on, let me get myself together here. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern, no, tomorrow is a different time. Actually, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be talking with Corey Michelle, who is the Unicorn CEO. She's the founder of Crazy Possible Living. And you'll find all about her journey tomorrow, 7 p.m. because she's in Australia. So
Oh,
our time's going to change tomorrow. But you know, as far as today's interview, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and thank
yeah.
you again, Curtrice, for being
Thank
here,
you.
sharing yourself with everybody. I do appreciate you. And
Okay.
guys, oh yeah, if you'd like to say something in closing, you have the floor, by the way. I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. My environment is starting to get a little noisy too. So
Okay.
I just want to say thanks. And this was great to contribute and expand with you. And just sending big love to everybody out there. Please do connect. Like I said, community is really important. If you want to be featured on the tech platform that we're creating, reach out to me. You know, let's just have conversations, and yeah, let's contribute to each other. So sending big love. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.